Hey y'all, this is Kim with Creative Escapades. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so excited that you joined me today, and I'm excited to show you what I'm going to be making. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the video. So today I'm working on this vanity tray silicone mold, and it is 18.5 by 12 by 3/4 inch deep tray. It's a rather large tray. I don't know how much resin it's actually going to take to fill it, but we're just going to start out with our first layer, and I'm using the Marine Epoxy, which is a 1:1 ratio. And I mixed up 6 ounces to start with, and I'm going across in a diagonal pattern. I want to get a design that's kind of irregular across, but not in the center. I want all the colors to kind of go at an angle across from one corner to the other. And I'm putting down this first little bit of resin, and then I'm going to add this mixture of Recollections, Mica Flakes, and gold glitter. And I think this is so pretty, and it'd be a perfect little river to go across the center of the piece. But these little mica flakes and glitter like to float around on this silicone mat, so I'm going to clean that up first, get it all pushed back where it belongs. But you can see how it sparkles, and I think with those larger chunks of the mica flakes will really set it off. And then next I am going to mix up my colors, and I'm showing them to you here, but since I sped up the video, you really couldn't tell what they were. But so this first one is Resin Art Golden Autumn Luster Pigments from Color Art. If you have never used Color Art pigments, you need to try them. They are wonderful. They shimmer and they're wonderful. They mix great with your resin. So I love to use these. And I also have this shaped glitter from Recollections. They look like little tiny gold leaves, and just putting a few of them across the top of the other, I think it will just dress it up and make it pretty. And then I'm going to put a thin line of clear on each side, and then mix up my next color, which is going to be the Myrtle Green. And this also is Resin Art Luster Pigment from Color Art. And I'm giving you all the websites where this can be found. It'll also be down in the description box below this video. But these are some gorgeous colors, and I'm going for a fall kind of tray, and so I'm trying to use those colors that remind you of fall. And I'm putting another thin layer on each side, and then I'm mixing up my orange, and for my orange I use the Liquitex Heavy Body Vivid Red Orange, and I didn't have any of the luster pigment, but this is a very pretty orange. It's not going to be shimmery or shiny, but that's okay. They don't all have to be shimmery, shiny colors or glittery colors. And then another layer of thin, and I'm going to across the center of where the glitter is with some of the rest of that was in that cup, to make sure that it is staying where it needs to stay. And then I'm popping a few of the bubbles. The reason why I'm putting little thin layers of the clear in between each of my colors is that when I use my heat gun right here, it'll start warming those colors and moving them and letting them blend over each other, and it's going to give a really pretty design when it starts curing. And right here I'm just using my stir stick and I'm just kind of mingling the colors just a little bit, trying not to touch the bottom of my tray because I could scratch it, and then I will always have that scratch on every single tray that I do after that. You don't want to damage your surface of your silicone molds. This color that I'm using now is called Tiger's Eye. This is also from Resin Art and our color art, and it is a really pretty color. Then we add another little bit of clear, and then for the final layer on our final color for this particular layer, I mixed some Artist Loft Deep Red with some Payne's Gray, and it gave me a gorgeous burgundy color. So I kind of want to keep that right there, and see here is where I'm heating up the colors and then blowing them back and forth over each other, and then as it cures it's going to leave a really unique design. But when you're using heat on your silicone molds, just be careful not to use too much with your heat or your torch. You could damage them, and silicone molds are not cheap, so you want to make sure that you don't overheat them. I'm just going to pop a few of the bubbles that I see. I'm going to let this set for 24 hours before I come back and do my next layer. I'm just going to touch up where I see anything that needs to be moved. Okay, so we have set for 24 hours, and now I need to fill this little space and this little space. And I have mixed up a little bit of gold, and this is a Stone Coat Gold Dust Metallic. And I want to just put this just directly into those little areas where there is no resin yet. I don't want to get it onto the resin that's already set. I am going to let it blend a little bit when I put the clear coat on top of this. But for right now, I'm just being very careful and pouring it just enough to fill that void. And then I'm going to take my stir stick and just gently move it around until it is all filled. And into that corner right there, and right up against where the other resin already is. And then we'll do the same thing right here. Got a little bit, I can see where the mold is right there, so I'm gonna fix that. And this is going to be a two-part video, so because I actually already have like close to 3 hours into this one and these two layers, so I don't want to make this a really long video. So just stay tuned and keep an eye out for the second part of this video. I will be adding more layers and handles, so that will be fun. And I'm going around with the clear resin around the center part because I want to make sure that there's no loose glitter that could float off if I just poured it right directly over the top of that. And then I'm just going to take my heat gun, heat it up a little bit, And then I'm going to use my stir stick and move the resin around. And I'm just making sure that every single bit is covered with a good layer all the way up to the edge, along each one of those little geode edges, and then right up to the gold that I just poured. And then once I get that done, I will heat it up again just a little bit, make sure all the bubbles are popped, and then I will let it cure before I start my next layer, which will go into part 2 video. So this part will be the end of this one, and I hope you've enjoyed this part so far. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do that now and ring that bell. That way you'll get notified when I upload part 2, finishing this tray, adding the handles and the other design elements. So I want to thank you for joining me for this part of it, and be sure to come back and see the rest of it. Please click like and share. All those things helps my channel grow, and I certainly appreciate it when you do that. And I'm going to add just a little bit more gold right here, heat it up, and then we'll let it set. So thank you for joining me for this portion, and keep a watch out for part 2, and I'll see you in my next creative escapade. Bye bye for now.